Shalom, everybody. Start this. I am doing my service today without my guitar because I have a boo-boo. Hi, Marvin. Cutting an apple with an apple corer thing, and it's a brand new one, and I was starting to put it away, and it slipped and sliced my finger. So I am guitarless today. Anyhow, okay, here we go. La 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 Shalom, Ellen.
Shalom.
How
are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine. It's so good to see you.
Thank you. Yeah, last week was not good.
Oh, I'm so sorry to
This
hear
week
that.
isn't a lot better, but at least I'm here.
Oh, thank God. God bless.
And I have a boo-boo, so I can't use my guitar today.
Oh, no. What about the tambourine?
Uh-oh.
No, well, we'll just settle for your beautiful voice then.
Okay, thank you.
Well, that's all right. In a traditional synagogue, you don't use musical instruments.
That's right.
That's right.
In fact, till they rebuild the temple, you're not supposed to. That's what I was taught.
That's true.
Well, if it's not on Shabbat, there's no restriction, right, Rabbi?
Depends on the shul. In the traditional shuls, in Orthodox shuls, no, nothing. Nothing.
That's what I was taught. Yeah.
Nothing.
My Jewish education as a boy was in an Orthodox shul.
Right. A lot of people. But
I'm not that observant.
anyhow, but in the Reform movement, they have always used something. I think they started with an organ, and they still use organ or piano. The
Reform shul?
Yeah,
Right, they used an organ, and my parents used to say it reminded them of a church.
Yeah. A lot of people have mentioned that. It's one of the reasons we kind of went over to guitar. It's not quite as churchy.
Right.
The conservatives didn't for a long time, and then they started. I think when we got the State of Israel, everybody said, enough is enough.
Well, the Orthodox are real into music. There's no doubt about that, but just not on,
right.
Those days. What are they called? Yom Tov days.
Yom Tov, right. Well, I used to, because I was with a conservative synagogue for a long time. I used to, when I first started there, I didn't use anything, just sang. And the president of the synagogue said, please use the guitar. So I did.
Well, you're lucky that you're so multi-talented that you can do it. And by the way, I enjoyed it too, Reba, the organ music. I did when I was in a Reform shul, but it just reminded me of being in a church because I sang in a choir at a Trinity Cathedral in Cleveland downtown. And it had the biggest pipe organ and it was beautiful.
Yeah, a lot of them
Catholic
have
sometimes.
What's interesting is that most of the organists are Christian. 90% of them. I know one in the Los Angeles area that's Jewish.
My goodness.
Interesting.
Catholic churches sometimes have folk masses and they use guitars.
Right.
Right.
Okay, we're gonna go on.
Okay.
Hine ma tovu manayim shevet kulanu yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet kulanu yachad. Hine ma tov shevet kulanu yachad. Hine shevet kulanu yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim 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 shevet kulanu yachad. Hine ma tov, la 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 la. Hine ma tov, la 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 la. Hine ma tovu manayim, hine ma tovu manayim. Hine ma tovu manayim, hine ma tovu manayim. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet kulanu yachad. 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 The Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach leolam vaed. Praise be the one to whom our praise is due. Praise to be the one to whom our praise is due, now and forever. Ahavat Olam. Your love has embraced us always, in wilderness and promised land, in good times and in bad. Night and day your Torah sustains us, reviving the spirit, delighting the heart, informing the soul, opening the eyes, granting us a glimpse of eternity. Because of your love, we shall embrace Torah night and day, in devotion and delight. Beloved are you, Adonai, whose Torah reflects your love. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Listen, Israel, Adonai is our God. Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, ושבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. I want to say hi to Sharon Jaffe. Erev Tov, happy to see you too. And to Bobby Bookout. Shalom. You shall love Adonai your God with all your mind, with all your soul, and with all your strength. Set these words which I command you this day upon your heart. Teach them faithfully to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand. Let them be a symbol before your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. You like that Shema? It's Hasidic. It's a Hasidic Shema. They do it at Chabad sometimes. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Be mindful of all my mitzvot and do them, thus you will become holy to your God. I, Adonai, am your God, who brought you out of Egypt to be your God. I, Adonai, am your God. Adonai Elohechem emet. Adonai, your God, is true. Mi kamoka ba'elim Adonai, mi kamoka nedar ba'kodesh, nora tehilot, osefele, osefele, mi kamoka ba'elim Adonai, mi kamoka nedar ba'kodesh, nora tehilot, osefele, osefele. Who is like you, Adonai, among all that is worshipped? Who is like you, majestic in holiness, awesome in splendor, working wonders? Hashkivenu. O God, you are a consolation to your creatures. For in moments of forgetting, we but call to mind your care, and we are comforted. When we hope no more, a pattern in the snow reminds us of your loving kindness. Your dawns give us confidence, and sleep is a friend. You are here. We fail words to say, Ma Tov. Baruch atah Adonai, haborei sukkot shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Yitkeda v'yitkeda shemei Rabbah, de'alma divrachirutei ve'ablik malchutei, de'chaye chonu v'yomei chonu v'chaye de'kol beit Yisrael, bagala bagala u'vizman kariv v'imeru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'l'almei amaya yitbarach yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitvav yitromam v'yitnasei v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei kudesha berichu leila mikol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nekemata damiran be'alma v'imeru amen. The Amidah. Adonai sifatai tiftachu fi agid tehillatcha. Adonai, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, ve'Konei Hakol, ve'Zocher Chasdei Avot ve'Imahot, u'mevii geula livnei v'neihem, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה, רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מקלקל קרים בכסף, מקיים הכל ברחמים רבים, צומח נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בגבורות ומדומך, מלך ממית ומחייך ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מקיים הכל. Please take this moment now to say your own prayer privately from your heart. Oh, say shalom, 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 bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oh, say shalom, 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 bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Okay, I'm going to do a little Torah reading. This was a toughie. It's got a lot of words I'm not used to. It's Tetzaveh is the name of the Torah portion. I'll be reading from Exodus chapter 29, verse 19 through 21. Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, ve'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. ולקחת את העיל השני ושמה אהרון ובניו את ידיהם על ראש העיל ושחטת את העיל ולקחת מרמו ונתת על תנוך אוזן אהרון ועל תנוך אוזן בניו הימנית ועל בוהן ידם הימנית ועל בוהן רגלם הימנית וזרקת את הדם goof that one up. וזרקת את הדם על המזבח סביב ולקחת מן הדם אשר על המזבח ומשמן המשחה והזית על אהרון ועל בגדיו ועל בניו ועל בגדי בניו איתו וקדש V'kadash hu uv'gadav uvanav uvigdei vanav ito. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
You're gonna love this. This is all about sacrifices. Actually, and the end, this part of I do the triennial cycle. So this is the last part of the last third of the Torah portion, the whole Torah
Excuse
portion.
me, Rabbi, could you explain the difference between the two, how they do the two different?
And in a lot of synagogues, they will do the entire Torah portion, which in this case would be from chapter 27, verse 20 through 30. It's long.
Yes,
In other words,
because
back in the Babylonian exile, they cut it up. The idea was that there were 54 parshiot. You have to get through all of them in a year. Of course, there are 52 years, right? 52 weeks.
Yeah.
So they have double portions sometimes. They'll combine two Torah portions. Depending on the year, because this is a leap year in Judaism. We have two Adars.
right.
So there are more of those double.
Weeks. Yeah.
And also we stop doing them like during the high holidays.
Right.
So there's
Okay.
like a month there of not doing our regular Torah portions. The idea was that we had to finish it all in 1 year. So the rabbis in Babylon, the ones in Babylon, started it. They cut each Torah portion into thirds. So you would do a portion of the parsha, a portion of the portion, and manage to get through it in 1 year. They do this in a 3-year period.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
we're in right now, and I have a whole thing that was put out by it was initially put out by the conservative movement, and I know the rabbi who did this. They've got it all divided up. I don't know, you probably can't see it very well, but so Genesis is divided into thirds, Noah is divided into thirds, all the way through, and there are some that are kind of different.
Well, sometimes,
You have to always do the 10 Commandments. And the 10 Commandments comes in the middle of the parsha. So you have to do the very end of the first triennial cycle to the end of and then on the third, you have to do the whole 10 Commandments and then the whole third part.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, what I just
The Sephardic, does it matter whether it's Ashkenazim or Sephardi? Because sometimes they have different portions that are read. Well, the Haftarah.
yes, right.
So
Actually, I don't know that much about the how they do that. I think they tend to be more like the conservative Ashkenazim than the Orthodox. Than Orthodox, and yet they don't delineate the Orthodox to the conservative to the Reform. But their services are more like conservative than Orthodox.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, what I read. Then take the other ram. They've got 2 rams, and they burn the rams. But then they take the other ram. They let Aaron and his. This is by the way their ordination for the priesthood. For the sons, for Aaron's sons. Take the other ram and let Aaron and his sons lay their hands upon the ram's head. No one knows exactly why they do this. I have my own theory about it. It says that laying it upon the bull may transfer their impurity to the animal, which is then destroyed. Or it may indicate the transfer of ownership of the bull from them to God. I have a third theory. Kindness to the animal. Nevertheless, you slaughter the ram and take some of its blood, you put it with your thumb on the ridge of your ear, the right ear, and then on the thumbs of the right hands and on the big toes of the right feet. And then you take the blood and you dash it against every side of the altar, just like this. Now the blood's going everywhere, by the way. It's going on, and not just the priests, and not just the Levites and the Kohanim, and it's going on the people too. Now back when I was doing a few weeks back when we talked about when Moses left early to go back to Egypt to save the people, and his wife Zipporah had to circumcise their sons, and she took the blood and she spattered it everywhere, on Moses, on the serpent that was trying to eat Moses, on the baby, and she says, "Now you are truly a covenant of blood to me." That was her literal phrase. This is the same thing. In fact, what that was a premonition of what was to come. Take some of the blood that is on the altar and some of the anointing oil and sprinkle upon Aaron and his vestments, and also upon his sons and his sons' vestments. Thus shall he and his vestments be holy, as well as his sons and his sons' vestments. We don't do animal sacrifices anymore. There are schools all over the world, actually, now. Used to just be in Jerusalem that taught how to do teach how to do sacrifices. And because they expect the Mashiach to come, they expect the temple to be rebuilt, and they expect the sacrifices to begin again. What do you think about that? You can unmute.
I think that would be going backwards. I think at that time it was acceptable. That's what they did. But if you're talking about kindness and about slaughtering there's got to be another way to make things holy.
Yeah.
To kill an animal to do that is to me an abomination.
And yeah, barbaric, really.
Yeah.
Ellen, what do you think? Ellen.
agree. I think it would be terrible to see slaughtering come back, animal slaughtering. We can do other sacrifices like a prasad does in the Hindu faith. They they don't sacrifice, they offer food offerings, and it's plant-based. And what's wrong with doing something like that?
Right. I could, if it was me and I was a guy, because they wouldn't let a woman do that. At one time, I think the women did slaughter the animals.
Were they eaten?
Reba says, I hope the temple is never rebuilt so that the animal sacrifices would not take place. Yeah. One of the reasons is, for one thing, the animal sacrifices were, what did they do with the meat? They didn't burn everything up. They gave it to the priests. They gave it to the priests because the priests had no land, no property. We had to take care of the priests and the Levites.
Right.
What we did, so we gave them the sacrifices as food. That was their dinner.
I can deal with that.
But if the Mashiach comes again, supposedly we're all going to be vegetarians again.
Right? Yeah, that's the highest form.
What for?
Yeah.
So why would we sacrifice animals then? We wouldn't.
We wouldn't.
We present food.
Right.
Prasad, like they do in the Hindu faith.
Right.
They make food.
We might feed the animals, but we wouldn't feed ourselves with the animals.
Maybe if we are vegetarians, well, that's the ultimate in keeping kosher.
Right.
It's the ultimate.
That's right. That's right.
And you wouldn't have to have two kitchens.
Okay, I'm going to end that. Thank you. And I agree with you, with all of you. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתגעים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Ours is the duty to praise the All-Sovereign, to honor the artist of creation who made us unique in the human family with a destiny all our own. For this we bend our knees and bow with gratitude before the Sovereign Almighty, Monarch of all, the wellspring of holiness and blessing. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. On that day, the eternal shall be one, and God's name shall be one. Prayer for the sick. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. I'm remembering today the family and friends of Phil Ladner, who was my husband's best friend. Shandal bat Gitta, Chris Casper, Ada bat Chanya, Esther Yocheved bat Rezel Bracha, Robert Stein and Andrea Grayboff, Sharon ben Sarah, Rachel bat Benjamin, Lori Bud and Liliana Franzen, Moshe Lazar ben Chana and his wife, Teva Chana bat Perel, Ziona Swigert and Chava bat Elsa, Albert's granddaughter Maddie, Yosef ben Albert and Valerie Madison, Batya Malka bat Perel Chaya, Menachem ben Menashe, Roland and Judy Hansen, Shendel bat Sharon and Chana bat Shendel, all the COVID-19 victims. We're now at 900,000 in this country. And all who suffer from Guillain-Barré syndrome. And you may unmute and tell me if you like who you want to remember today. Ellen? Which Ellen? I'm sorry. I suddenly realized. Duh. Ellen Rose.
All those who are suffering physically and emotionally, all those are homeless humans and animals. Paula, Marlene Bachaya, Perry Ben Betty, Jeannie Batwana, Alexandra Bat Aurora, Marvin, Beth, Tamara. I'm missing someone. Tamara, Beth, Amy.
Amy. Yeah.
Thank you, Toda.
Chania. Ellen Friedman.
Okay, David Walkneen, Leah Walkneen, Diane Fishman, Janet Klein, Sharon Briones.
Okay, Marvin?
Francis Johnson, John Reynolds, Dawn Halnett.
Okay. Reba? Reba sends healing energy to everybody who is ill. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. And let us say,
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Mi sheberak avotenu mikor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say,
Amen.
Mi sheberak imotenu mikor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with
Refuah Shlema.
the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Rofei HaCholim. Blessed are you, Adonai, healer of the sick. Oops. And the Mourner's Kaddish. And I am remembering a family friend of Beth's who's very dear to her. She was very close to him. Maariv Oroba. Our friend Phil Ladner, who died of COVID, asked not to be put on a ventilator. The 900,000 victims of coronavirus, victims of racial injustice, and all kinds of gun violence. And you may again unmute if you want to tell me those you want to remember today for Yahrzeit.
All those who have no one to say Kaddish for them. Thank you.
Okay. And Marvin?
Nobody, no one in particular.
Okay. Reba, do you have anybody special today? Reba prays for everybody that doesn't have anyone to say Kaddish for them. Ellen? Friedman.
Here's Sangrando, who died at the age of 12. Yesterday was his birthday, so I'm saying Kaddish for him. And Alan Brown, my friend, Maureen McManus, Kathy Gage, and Glenn Thorne. All dear friends.
Okay, I also want to say Kaddish for Amir Locke. I have a list of black people that have been killed by the police, and it fills pages. I lost count a long time ago, but Amir Locke is the latest.
And I have so much compassion by anybody who's been brutalized by the police.
Me too. Okay, thank you. I haven't asked Bobby or Sharon on Facebook if they have anybody. If you guys have a Yahrzeit that you're remembering or someone you want to remember. But you can type it, you can write it in if you want, and I'll stop. But we're going to stay together, the Mourner's Kaddish. Yit Gadal, Yit Kadash,
Kadash, Shamei, Rabba,
Alma,
Amam, Vivraka,
Yamich, Malchute,
Malchute,
Chayichon,
Avidnon, Mikvikon, Yakaye,
Israel, Agala,
Akulan, Isman, Karim, Imru, Amen.
Yehev Shemei,
Yehesh Shmei Rabba, Merak, Leolam, Ulam Maya,
Yit Pa'ar, Yit
Far, Vitamam, Vitase, Vitadar, Vitalel, Vitalal, Shmei, Vitaka, Leolam, Vankavekata, Vishirata, Tushvakata, Vanekamata, Dam, Iran, Elma, Vimru, Amen. Hey, Shlama, Rav, my Mishamaya, Vekayim Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael, V'amru, Amen.
Shalom Dimrama,
Shalama, Yaseh Shalom,
Aleinu
Aleinu,
V'al
V'al Kol
Kol Yisrael,
V'amru,
Amen.
Amen.
That's all of us, I think. I think we all need angels right now. I know I do. So you see the angel blessing. May our right hand bring us closer to our godliness. May our left hand give us strength to face each day. And before us may our visions light our paths ahead. And behind us may well-being heal our way. All around us is Shekinah. 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 Mini Mikael, Umismoli Gavriel, Umilfanai Uriel, Umeakorai Raphael. They are Rushi Shekinah. They are Rushi Shekinah. They are Rushi Shekinah. They are Rushi Shekinah. All around us is 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 Shekinah. I had a
That was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. The whole service was beautiful, Rabbi.
thank you, thank you. I had a I still have a friend, Carol Levine, who is the president of my former synagogue, was the president of my former synagogue, and when I started doing that song, she came up with the movements for it, you know, and like we taught to kids in Sunday school and stuff like that. For some songs, and I said I tried to remember what she did. I'm not sure that I actually got them all right, but anyway, that was close enough. May our right hand and left hand in front of us and behind us. It's okay. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom if I don't see you tomorrow. And
Shabbat Shalom.
I won't be using the guitar again tomorrow probably, but we'll see. Anyhow, love you guys. And
Love you.
Shalom. Laila Tov, Erev Tov,
So
Boker Tov to Reba. And